These are very concerning times right now for Call of Duty and the future of the Call of Duty League, and a lot of people know it, especially someone like Crimsix. Guys, within 48 hours of CDL champs, of course, they dropped a guy like Clayster because they simply had to. When choosing between two of the all-time greats and one of the most winningest, if not the single most winningest Call of Duty player of all time, that being Crimsix, do you drop Clayster, the back-to-back champ and one of the all-time greats, or do you drop a guy like Crimsix, you know, the undisputed GOAT of all time, by a lot of eyes out there? An incredibly difficult decision to be made by the Dallas Empire, which was forced by the hand of seemingly a lot of owners and a lot of players out there. But the way it was done has a lot of people pissed off and a lot of people concerned, and I would say rightfully so. Crimsix first taking to Twitter. We'll read those tweets in a second. He also took to the podcast last night. You guys need to check it out. Spilled a lot of great information in that about the future of the Call of Duty Challenger scene. And brought to us just last night by CDL Intel, it seems now the minimum roster requirements for these teams will be moving from 7 players down to just 5. With Call of Duty going from 5v5, which the minimum player count was 7 to 10 players, it seems now the minimum player count will now be 5 players per roster, which means not just 12 players losing their jobs, but a lot of teams out there probably stripping a lot of talent because it saves them a lot of bucks. The future of the COD Challenger scene, and of course being subs for the Call of Duty League and the Call of Duty League in general, this is going to be a very interesting and concerning time, and we'll see how they can adjust. As shortly after the benching of Clayster, Crimsix says, "Want to punch a wall right now. Can't believe our Champions of the World vibe was slaughtered in less than 24 hours with one of the crappiest moments in my career. Hate that owners voted the 4v4 route solely due to the fact that it was cheaper to pay less people. Effing pathetic." And he continued saying, "Some owners voted it for to remain 5v5, and for that I praise you. But to the others who voted for 4v4, you ought to be gosh dang ashamed of yourselves. 12 players this year are going to lose their livelihoods, so your deep pockets could stay a little bit deeper." And lastly, I as a player agree that 4v4 plays better in Call of Duty, but for them to cut 12 spots and no expansion is yet another slap in the face to Call of Duty Pro players. The switch should have only been made with expansion teams coming into play. Then, NVCGO, former CEO, that being Hastro, says plenty of players asked for it too. Just search Twitter. Wasn't just the owners. Of course, our whole team and organization wanted to keep 5v5. It wasn't us at all. Such is life, man. Such a loss for us and not many others. That's the reality we are in. Crimsix goes, "I know it was both parties, but I've already absolutely roasted those players for it behind the scenes." Then Aches jumps in. Aches, by the way, has had a bit of back and forth with Hastro over the past couple of days. This one more peaceful, as he says, 4v4 with expansion should not have been an issue. Shouldn't have done one without the other, or, you know, could have just never went to 5v5 to begin with, and none of this would have been an issue. Hastro replies, "Okay, now we can agree on something here, but COVID happened. Very hard to expand right now. Just to get these team expansion deals done would have been a difficult task. Trust me, it's a long process to buy in." And this just showcases entirely what COVID has done, what the pandemic has done, how a lot of these players and coaches, and I guess you could say owners, feel very, very differently on the issue, right? I don't think we're ever going to know the full truth about who wanted 5v5, who wanted 4v4, how this choice could have come to fruition. And yes, I totally agree with Aches, and Hastro does. I think everyone probably agrees on this. The league should not have gone down to 4v4 without expanding to 16 teams, because now we lose at least 12 starter jobs, and then we find out minimum roster size goes down from 7 to 5. We lose those additional jobs as well. And again, Crimsix on the Codcast, go check it out because I'll be picking it apart in the next few days. You think of the additional jobs might be lost throughout challengers because you have a couple of those challenger teams who certainly could have competed at the Call of Duty League top level, but organizations can't buy in, won't buy in. The league is now no longer expanding. The opportunity lost for jobs out there in the future of Call of Duty League. You're going to have so many pro players, whether tippity top, actual Call of Duty League players or challenger players or incoming players that are thinking, okay, am I going to compete all challenger season long for all of a sudden this league to go from 5v5 to 4v4? I competed all of last season and now have no shot. There is pretty much a far-fetched shot that any of these challenger players actually make the dive into the Call of Duty League, and if they do, they're a one-off, they're a two-off. We saw it even limited times last season, and now this, from 5v5 to 4v4, the tippity top becomes all the more competitive. There's not going to be many teams dropping, the well-noted names for up-and-comers. Yes, it probably will happen. I hope it does. But now it becomes all the more limited, and you understand why players and owners are probably upset by this and set back a lot financially during a COVID and pandemic period. It's tough for a guy like Hastro. It is tough for the owners. If an option is in front of you where the league goes, hey, You paid 25 million, all right? It was 5v5. We said you can have 7 to 10 players. We want to go back to 4v4. We think viewership-wise, the league will do better. Call of Duty overall will do better, therefore saving you a lot of money. You can cut one of your starters from last season and additionally maybe 2 of your subs. If you're a team that has 10 players, you can cut 5 guys. You can save a lot of money. What do you think? If you're an owner and you're struggling and you see the return of the first season and you've already are going to pay that $25 million fee and all of a sudden you can save money and the potential for the league will maybe do better, maybe it looks better 4v4, of course some owners are going to cut that and save that money. Of course they will. It's a tough argument and a tough debate to have for the future of Call of Duty, and it really sucks to see. Call of Duty at the top level has become so competitive, especially 4v4. You got 48 players who will play at the top level. No wonder a guy like JCap's gonna retire. There's very little chance he could wiggle his way in there. It's weird. It's weird to see it all unfold, guys. I'll keep on covering in the future days as well. Crimsix furious. I'm sure Hastro's furious. I'm sure all of the Empire are upset, and they're not the only team out there who should be. The future of Call of Duty is going to be very interesting. Until next time, take care of yourselves, all right? Whew. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon.